And the second game is up of the match between Chile Clan and New Chapter, and we are looking at what map? No, Standard Arabia. Alright, yeah, that definitely makes sense to be New Chapter's map. So that first one was Chileans. That's what I would be expecting. And the civilizations are gonna be what? And he's going for triple Mongols. Yeah, well, that's actually a pretty bad idea. You might be thinking that's a good idea. No, it's not. It's absolutely horrible idea. And it has been proven, for example, by Wix, Berserkers. That was a team of... Who was actually playing? It was Winchester, Warrior, and somebody with them. And they lost absolutely horribly. They lost absolutely horribly. And they weren't playing against any kind of high-skilled team. They were playing against some solids. Solid 17 to 1800s. And they were owned, going triple Mongols. So it might seem like a good idea to go with such a civilization times 3. No, it's not. No, it's not. So let's see how they are gonna be doing against Chileans here, who are playing with a bit more standardish composition with Mayans, Persians, and Huns. And maybe the NCs are gonna be surprising us with something that they have thought through a bit before. Well, definitely curious if that's gonna be the case. If they're testing something against, or rather for future rounds, definitely could be happening. And I'm gonna be curious what that is going to be. And otherwise, is somebody stealing? Green is what? Flank? Yes, green is flank. And he's not stealing from blue. Otherwise, on the left, that's yellow. That's sniper being flanked. Not stealing from his opponent either. He's having kind of fishy boars in there that could potentially be stolen if his opponent were to find them, as he definitely is trying to steal. Yeah, you can see he was actually able to take at least one of the sheeps. That's nice. Definitely nice in there. And for the opponent, oh, he's trying to steal even more of them. Being annoying, but Panzers is on top of that. He's having none of that. None of that at all. And otherwise, where is he actually having the boars? Huh. Ah, here, behind the forest. Well, that's kinda gutsy for them. Kinda sucky for Panzers, but he has already scouted them, so he's gonna be taking at least one of them home right about now. And it seems that actually Yellow hasn't scouted it, so Sniper probably didn't see the boars. Right? Yes, he didn't. Okay, so those are pretty much safe. As for the opponents on the other side, yeah, it doesn't seem like that there will be any kind of stealing or whatnot. It seems that nobody is interested in that all that much, as we're having a bit of a pause. But otherwise, of course, interesting spawning positions all around, it has to be said. Quite next to the wall of the map right about now for and to sucks. It's gonna be having very nice gold. Well, very nice. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because the positions seem nice, they are quite close to the TC, but since they are all clumped right next to each other, basically all it takes for the enemies to completely gold and stone starve him is basically control this part of the map. As soon as they control this part, he's absolutely dead, because he has nowhere to go, because he doesn't have any extra resources anywhere. So even though this is nice, if this is scouted by the enemies, they could be taking advantage of that, as it would be fairly easy to take advantage of, to be honest, with their skill that they are having. Because of course NCs are 2k quite easily. Quite easily indeed. And right now I need to actually check something, so give me a bit of a moment. I'm just gonna be putting you on a view log, because that I need to take care of. That's because of our streaming for our other clan league, for the Age of Mythology clan league. Alright, so I'm right now back with you. Sorry for the bit of a pause in here, as I unfortunately had to deal with how to set up the stream for Age of Mythology. It's gonna be starting in about 10 minutes. Yeah, we're having plenty of it. And until a few hours before today's beginning of the stream, it was looking like I would have to do everything. So I'm quite lucky and happy that it's in the end not going to be the case, and I can stream a bit more Age of Empires for you. But we have already seen through the point of view of Andorin that he is right now defending against a Rush from Russia. So Russia seems to be doing a pretty good job in here so far. He hasn't killed any villager, but he is already quite annoying, which is exactly what counts at this stage. And we are probably gonna be expecting from those triple Mongols that they are gonna be having scouts everywhere, right? So far that's one scout scouting and not doing all that much extra. Otherwise, in here in the middle, well, just basically walled himself off, which is definitely nicely played. What? Why would you do such a nice wall and then leave this? Has he like dug some spikes under the ground in there to basically make it a trap? Well, that's one hell of a hole in a wall. That's unexpected, but anyway, he's already having plenty of scouts somewhere on the left. Unless it was actually breached on there, which I don't think so, because I don't see anybody yellow. No, yellow is definitely not there. So it seems that yellow is actually right now coming for not the scouts. This one is gonna be coming for archers and the pikemen, rather spearmen. So it seems like a pretty good combination, of course, against panzers, who is the Persian in here so far, trying to raid his opponent as much as possible. And potentially yellow will have to go back a bit later, but so far he really isn't, as blue is, well, transitioning into men-at-arms. 2 men-at-arms, and they are still kind of alive-ish. They have right now dealt with the Wolfie and is already coming forward, but unfortunately for him, he's gonna be faced with a few archers here and there, so that's not really gonna be working for him in the long run. Because this is just gonna be taking a bit of micro and even a bit of melee fighting. You can see that he is quite nicely ready for that, and he is definitely aiming for this Andorin. So yep, those guys are gonna die quite significantly soon, and as Europe says, yeah, well, it's probably not the greatest of ideas to go into men-at-arms with kinda half that Drush. It's probably not gonna do a whole lot for you, as it didn't in here. So unfortunately for Russia, it didn't work out all that well, as right now Andorin is gonna be advancing on him and trying to basically punish him from that. Even one extra was built men-at-arms in there, but yeah, the archers are gonna be the next unit of choice, which is definitely correct, and we are gonna be seeing something fairly standard from now, it seems like. At any rate, where is actually Red and what he's doing? Well, he seems to be under attack a bit. He has been forced to defend himself on the stone in there, but otherwise he's rushing into Castle Age, the same as IM2 sucks, of course. He's not really doing anything significant before that, and IM sucks is Han, so Han Pocket, of course, is pretty great, but let's see if it's gonna be that significantly great, because he needs to be left alone for a bit longer so that he can properly boom. So far, he's quite safe, at least at this point on the map. At this point on the map, as on the right, well, a bit of attempt to right now push forward through Russia, as of course green doesn't have all that much of an army in there ready. Alright, so it seems like that right now Andorin is basically just patrolling across the hill, as he wants to be keeping the hill advantage, which is definitely correct thing to do. This one lone guy is still gonna be pursuing here. As some kind of bodyguard of all of those archers. Yeah, well, let's see for how long, because of course this should be probably resulting into a bit of a reaction of at least a few skirmishes here and there. I'm thinking that would be a pretty good idea, because having archers and mix like 2-3 skirmishes between them is definitely aiming for a very convincing battle, and it's basically kind of luring the opponent into making a mistake, because once the opponent kind of underestimates that, which could happen, then you're gonna be winning so easily and so much that even your opponent might be surprised. Well, he's gonna be surprised for sure, but maybe you are gonna be surprised as well. In the meantime, of course, horses are up. They are gonna be right now trying to help against all of those archers and whatnot. This is gonna be IM2 sucks, of course, with his teammate Blue Russia in here, and it seems like that so far Andorin is not receiving any kind of help. That should be probably coming very soon, but you can see that Nili is already dropping the castle, gonna be coming for another town center, and he is already going for some of those Mangurais quite soon indeed in the game. He's already at, or rather already just at 35 villages, but already coming for that. Yeah, well, that's interesting, as of course at the top, well, sniper, exactly. Even though he didn't really mean that, because he didn't really mean that original meaning, he meant fully upgraded. He lost all the army at the top, and that probably could have gone for both ways. This is not really great news for him, as he lost everything, which is gonna result in panzers coming forward. And is he ready for any kind of attack like that? I don't exactly think so. He's basically just camped inside his base with a few, actually units here and there. Not really anything all that much. Yeah, you can see that actually he lost his army, and Andorin is right about now in under pretty heavy attack by both Rusher and Panzers. Or rather, and I am sucks. I'm just confused in the colors in there for a moment. But of course, the Mangurais are not a bad idea, but are they gonna be all that useful in Castle Age? Not that certain, because the Knights are really good. Really good here. It's gonna be all about if he can actually make some kind of lasting damage with them, though, because so far, it doesn't seem that actually Blue would be having any kind of luck like that. With this guy still surviving in here. Walling coming around, but unfortunately not finished. Fortunately not finished fully in here. As Castle Age though is coming for Rushers, so definitely nicely played by the Chileans. And so far has to be said, this game is looking all kinds of interesting. And maybe, just maybe, NCs might be unhappy at the end of it. From their choice of the triple Mongols. Because it might seem strong on paper and general idea, but basically for the Mongols to get into the strong position, they need to get into Imperial Age safely and really spend some time in there to get a strong economy and all the upgrades, and that's very expensive. So basically if he cannot boom properly, which is exactly right now what's happening, that they cannot, they are being assaulted all over the place, because of course, once you are playing in a normal team and you are having some teammates like the Huns and the Mayans, they are of course gonna be protecting you through their own aggression. And that cannot really happen in here. You just have more Mongols, and they are not bad, of course, in the early fights, but they are not really great at the same time. And since they are gonna be aiming for something similar as the teammates, I don't know, I just don't like it too much. Plenty of players think that actually triple civilizations are OP or whatnot, but it just basically stems for a very false idea that they have no experience with it. They just don't play it and encounter it regularly, which means that they really don't know the downsides. They just see the upsides and they don't realize what kind of problems it can actually make for, because of course, another significant downside for having triple Mongols is the amount of stone. Because in the normal game, you can basically ask your teammates to send you some stone, you can gather it across the map, but right now suddenly you have 3 guys that are gonna be fighting for all the stone on the map, and once they are gonna be losing castles, then there is no stone left, because your allies already used it for their own castles. So it's another pretty significant downside of having triple Mongols, because you are so reliant on the stone that it could be undercutting you significantly if it's properly abused and not properly accounted for. Otherwise, plenty of knights behind the base of Nili, trying to find his way apparently into the gold mine, as this guy is just having a bit of a 5 in there. With plenty of economy still open, so potentially that could be a pretty good way in. Wolfie as well, behind them. Apparently he's gonna be picking up another one as well. As in the meantime, of course, the Mangurais are trying to raid his opponent. Basically something like what Huns do with cavalry archers right now is being done by all of those Mangurais, so that's basically pretty much the same what he's trying to do, and he seems to be quite effective at that. He will definitely need to place either castle here or another town center next to second gold, because that's gonna be pretty important for him. And he needs all the defense that he can get, because right now he's pretty nicely booming, but he's gonna be needing plenty more boom to be ready for all the paladin production later in the Imperial Age. Otherwise, how's he looking with the ages? Nobody advancing just now, but otherwise everybody in the castle, as Andorin was the very last one to advance in there as well. Economies are 45, 46, 64 nearly. For the Chileans, that's 40, 44 and 64 for the pocket players, so the economies are more or less similar. Not any kind of significant advantage for either side, which is at this point a good sign for NCs. It has to be said, it's a good sign, because they are not falling behind through the lack of any kind of significant feudal age aggression, as they have been under attack pretty much the whole time. But well, yeah, those knights, they are still trying to find something to kill, but otherwise they are heading back, as they will need to defend their own villages. But the question is for how much longer, because the monks are getting up in numbers. And they're gonna be trying to convert as many Mangurais as possible. Oh well, poor guy. Didn't really survive. And didn't really finish the wall in there. But they are coming back, and how's it gonna be looking there? I'm just looking where actually those knights are gonna be coming. I was maybe expecting they could be trying to close off those Mangurais. But it's of course not gonna be that easy, looking how they are right now decimating all those monks. And of course, looking at a huge amount of crossbowmen right now being ready. And getting through the palisade that was right now hidden in there. They can just get through and kill all the economy, and especially in here, potentially killing all of those gold miners. But there is plenty of army left from Russia, so he's not gonna be surprised at all. And yep, it seems like this is gonna be a pretty nice shootout, unless of course there's gonna be some other player joining as well. This is though a very sweet choke point against horses. At the same time, it could be quite dangerous for Mangonos, of course, but it doesn't seem like that he would be having... Yeah, he doesn't have siege workshop, so that's not really a threat right about now for him. Even though he doesn't know that, of course, as Yellow has made his way inside the base of Teal. There has been a bit of an engagement, but it seems like that Yellow lost quite convincingly, even though he's sending extra few units in there. Definitely not enough, as Teal is all over the place in there, and he seems to be heading yet again into the enemy base with all the units that he's having. Archers, or rather archers, villagers coming forward. Is it just gonna be to plug the hole or not? Not entirely certain, but of course needs to be paying attention in here, which he is, and of course the numbers are... Alright, but now having quite a good numbers advantage for them, so they are gonna be winning. So that was just plugging the hole. As on the right, green is finally through, as we expected, and there's gonna be a bit of a join in, oh wow, of even more crossbowmen in here, together with some Angurais. And where is actually right now purple? He should be definitely joining in as soon as possible. He should be sending all the units that he's having, and he's even sending a few villages in there. That's gonna be town center, and what else? Not entirely certain, but I would just like some kind of mangonel in here from either side, but it doesn't seem to be coming. And what is interesting is that actually right about now, the economies are getting ahead for NCs quite significantly. You can see that Andorin is at 71 together with Sniper, whereas Nelly is at 83. For the opponents, I'm2 sucks at 90, very good boom for him, but otherwise the teammates are at just 48 and 52. So that's, yeah, definitely falling behind in here, and pretty good catch by Europe in the chat in there. Okay, so it seems like that Arbalests for Sniper, really? Interesting. But it seems to be the choice for him based on the chat. Right now, Nelly is just gonna be running around trying to, I don't know, decide where he wants to go with the monk, and potentially waiting for some villages. I'm just waiting for some villages, really, because either red or green should be sending them to basically establish themselves next to the enemy. But so far, they kind of not interested in that, it seems like. And well, the TC is gonna be important for the gold, and otherwise, horses seem to be enough for the defense just now. But of course, you mustn't forget that Nili is advancing into Imperial Age as the very first player in here, and since he is the best boomed, even though he's quite mightily being caught up with by Andorin and Sniper, it seems that he's gonna be the best ready to switch already into the Elite Mangurais and whatnot, because he's already having the castle. Which is another reason why he should be sending villages forward for another castle, I'm expecting. As long as they have the advantage, why not drop a castle? I don't know, maybe even here. Right next to your teammate, be close to the battlefield. Yeah, well, apparently not happening. But in the meantime, before we see another battle on the right, let's switch on the left side, where Panzers has found his way into the enemy base yet again. As he's trying to find what he can be killing, but apparently not much. As of course Sniper is gonna be defending himself quite competently, having crossbowmen all across the map in pretty good numbers, so it seems to be really doing quite well. Indeed. Player 6, that's what color actually? That's teal? I'm thinking so. But I'm not entirely certain if 6 is actually teal. I can't really confirm, maybe it could be the purple. Not really that used to the colors, because in Age of Mythology we actually don't get to choose the colors. They are basically hard-coded, and that means that in every game players are having different colors. We just don't get to use to and too attached to the color code in there. But at any rate, this is getting pretty big. Pretty big army, but they shouldn't be really escaping from the hill. They should be quite interested in that. So far it seems like he's much more interested in killing a few villages here and there. And Well, there is a good hill. There is a good hill where the horses are. The crossbowman... Oh, come on! Crossbowman! Hill! 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 Please! Oh well, that's such a shame. He could be having such an advantage in there, but still, this is a very interesting battle because the horses are a big problem. Pretty big problem indeed. And are they gonna be some kind of game-changing problem? Probably so. You can see that they have already decimated like half of the crossbowmen in there. So very nicely played. And those Mangurais will definitely have to retreat, even though they are slightly faster. So they have not that significant problem with that. In the meantime, castle finished. But it was by Andorin, not really by Nili. I was expecting that maybe the red player could be interested in that a bit more, but apparently Andorin is gonna be switching also into the Mangurais, as on the left there is a development as well, and that development is advance of sniper into Panzer's base, and much more importantly, finally some military buildings right next to his base. Alright. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh, that could have been slightly more better if he had more attack, but that was definitely sweet because it was a direct hit, even Sniper commenting on that. And potentially could be another one, but yeah, not anymore. But still, he did kill already about 4 villagers trying to finish the town center, and those guys are probably gonna finish here. Let's see, that's gonna be 1 versus 1 Mangonel. Who's gonna win? Well, those villagers are definitely not gonna win. They're just gonna die. It's gonna be 1 for 1, which is pretty much good enough right about now for Sniper. He just needed to get rid of that so that he can massacre the villagers and prevent the town center from coming out. So mission accomplished. As otherwise, on the right, we are not looking at anything all that significant. You can see that, of course, the crossbowmen are still very much alive, as we were looking at them a bit before. But the Mangurais, they are already elite, and they are getting all the upgrades. Even party and tactics right about now, conscription. So yep, Nili is definitely gonna be getting quite scary for the opponents. And especially looking at the economies where all 3 NCs are above 100. It's gonna be getting problematic for Chileans, as they have been just IM2 sucks at 113, but the rest 78, 83. Yeah, they just unfortunately getting outboomed at this stage. Even though Paladins are coming in already. So that's of course gonna be important power spike for them. Oh, well, somebody was greedy. And he's gonna be punished for that, right? Or not? Don't tell me he missed this. Oh, he probably missed. He probably missed that. That's a shame. He definitely could have annihilated them with like 2-3 horses in there. But of course the horses from the back. Sniper quite unhappy about what's gonna transpire here. Because that's gonna be total massacre. Like absolute total massacre of all his army. So he's not gonna be happy about that. And he definitely has to hope that Nili and Andorin have something on them. Because right about now, losing 50x bow, that sucks. That definitely sucks in here. Well, Europe, that's actually a good question. Maybe it could have been better if he actually went into his base and annihilated absolutely all the economy. That could have worked as well, potentially. That's not a bad idea, but he opted to actually help him, and it might be giving some extra time to Panzers to actually get himself on his feet. He is, after all, in the Imperial Age just now as a Persian, and even though he's not fully boomed, he should be switching into horses as well. And, can he get the Paladins fast enough? I'm fairly curious if he will, because right now it's gonna be potentially double Paladins against, I don't know how many elite Mangurais. And even though you might be favoring the Mangurais, I'm kinda thinking that actually the Paladins could be just a bit more useful, because they are hard to kill for the Mangurais, even though the Mangurais are overall in capable hands, much more dangerous. We mustn't forget that, of course, well, there are not gonna be Mangurais on the left, there are gonna be the Arbalists, as we have heard a bit before. Before he lost all of those crossbowmen, that's something he didn't expect, I'm pretty sure. But to finish the thought, they are tanky, the Paladins, and they can survive plenty of damage, even from the Mangurais. So they are gonna be quite useful in killing the enemy economies, and hoping that, yeah, that's gonna be better than actually dealing with the army of the opponents. Still pretty much plenty of games here, plenty of the game to be had here. Another castle coming up from Andorin though, so apparently Rusher will have to do a whole lot, as he's trying to finish with the wall in at the bottom, so that they can start some trading. But yeah, those crossbowmen are quite soon not gonna be good enough, and he should be already trying to switch into barracks. Yeah, because Eagle Warriors are gonna be needed very soon. Maybe even Plumed Archers could be working as well. Wouldn't underestimate the mass power of them, but still, this is not looking like a ready base at all for Rusher, and it seems like that Andorin won't be having all that hard time against him, especially considering that right about now Nili is fully upgraded, and he is gonna be basically preventing any kind of reinforcements from IM2 sucks. But Sachs does have pretty good economy at 111, that's quite strong at this point, and he should be able to produce plenty of paladins to help himself, especially since he is gonna be supporting that with some skirmishers. Good idea. Good idea, that could definitely help him, as of course he's all over the economy of Sniper, and Sniper, even though he's receiving a bit of help by Nili, he's quite significantly dropping in the economy. You can see he's at 74, so he lost about 40 villages. Yeah, he definitely lost about 40 villages to this raid. That's absolutely brutal, and luckily for him, he's not the one that should be producing Mangurais, because if he was, then he would be kinda KO. Like, right about now, he's at least going for heavy camels, which is not a bad idea, as they will need some kind of, actually, defense against the horses. Which is another reason why actually Mangurais, or rather, triple Mongols is not such a great idea. Because they don't really have all that many options how to deal with the diversity of the opponents. This castle, just basically defensive to protect the stone and the gold, but not really needed all that much in the end. So it's not gonna be any kind of heartbreaking moment for the purple player, as his army is getting up. But how's it looking with the green? Still plenty of army, trying to get rid of the castles here and there, but in the meantime, of course, Splint Archers are the unit of choice, with the Arbalest being researched as well, and some extra archer armor coming up. It seems like that it's gonna be exactly in time, with the Mangurais trying to kill the trebuchets, and quite significantly effectively so. Well, they have the bonus, haven't they? So the trade seems to be already starting for the NCs. Bit of slinging going on as well. Plenty of castles all around in here for green, with Siege Workshop as well. With Siege Workshop as well in the middle. Nili is not really advancing fast enough, but he is. He's having some kind of advantage in here, because of course, so far he's having problems right now, the purple player, amassing some kind of amount, reasonable amount of paladins. Especially since he's gonna be running out of gold. He will need to trade very soon indeed. And I'm not all that certain that they're gonna be having such an impenetrable trade themselves. As in here, apparently there's gonna be a movement forward by Panzers, trying to secure another gold mine, and he's slowly but surely creeping on his opponent, on Sniper. And Sniper, who is preparing with plenty of heavy camels in here, yeah, well, let's see how he's gonna be doing with that. Because he doesn't have all that many upgrades yet. Just now going for Iron Casting, Andorin for Siege Rams apparently. That's gonna be standard combination for him. About Hussars for Iron 2 Sachs. Yeah, well, he's apparently not having such a huge amount of gold. Yeah, not even the food is great for him. You can see he's having all kinds of troubles. And Nili is definitely right now knocking on him. And significantly so, because of course he's not able to deal with the army at all, especially since he's sending basic units one by one into the slaughterhouse, it seems like, into the middle. And with this army, yeah, it's kind of getting into the critical mass for the Mangurais, where it's very hard to do anything about it, and maybe you just need to somehow diversify a bit and go for the raiding into the enemy base, which is so far not happening, and it doesn't seem really to be on the table all that much, to be honest. Because here there is a significant breach into the middle of the purple army, and purple is basically right now fully in the defense mode for himself, so he cannot even defend his allies. As on the left we are looking at camels making their way into all of those cavaliers, forging elite skirmisher and heavy camel coming up as well, so it seems not even paladins are on the table for Panzers. Does he? Ah, well, he doesn't have the economy for them all that much. You can see he's missing plenty of resources for that kind of upgrade as the third battlefield. So this is basically 3 1v1s. It's kind of unusual for 3v3s. Usually you are having some doubles on either one side or the other, but this is not really the case, as the castle, one of them is down, but the second one is still quite nicely standing, as all of those skirmishers are doing their job together with the arbalests, and it seems like that finally we'll be switching into much needed Eagle Warriors. Yeah, they're gonna be potentially a bit of an issue for the opponent, but it seems not really anymore, as Imsac has resigned right about now, being breached by the red player, as another castle has been built right on his doorstep, and that means that right now Chileans, even through the very good fight and quite real struggles for NCs, quite real struggles indeed, especially Sniper was having a very bad game, to be honest. He was under a lot of pressure in there. Yep, this is gonna be 2-0 victory for the new chapter, and well, still well played by the Chileans. There are absolutely no pushovers, and I'm quite curious about their next proceeds in the league. Alright, let's check into the post game. That's gonna be Nili. Well, of course, yet again, as I said last time, the pocket who is allowed to boom is gonna be usually winning. Well, Europe, I'm fairly confident they would lose horribly. As I said, and you could have seen it in this game, the triple Mongol is just Just one trick pony, more or less. And if somebody is actually gonna be able to somehow disrupt that, then you're absolutely toast. Just not a good idea to go triple shifts anywhere. The idea that it's somehow OP to be going with triple civilizations that are on paper the strongest in the game, it's just not really panning in reality the same. Because the diversity is, believe it or not, one of the best reasons to be having the different civilizations, the team bonuses, and the other strengths of the civilizations. You are just basically a lot more flexible. Yeah, entertaining. Yeah, exactly. Okay, GG.